Mark Denham on Atom Radio.
Hello, it's episode 53 of the Atom Radio Drive Time podcast. How are you? I hope you've had a fantastic week as well. I have to say, I've had an all right week this week, severely helped by England's win at the cricket on Thursday. I am so looking forward to this weekend when England play in the World Cup final on Sunday at Lord's against New Zealand. It's going to be an absolutely fantastic Sunday. And I really am hoping for an England win. But anyway, enough of that. That's not why you're here. Why are you here? To check out the best bits of drive time, I would imagine, because that's what we've got coming up for you over the next few moments. Monday to Friday, 3 till 7 on Atom Radio. This week in the podcast, proof that Love Island isn't an intelligence island. Are you somebody that's guilty of ruining the doorbell industry? And yeah, think about it. An important question about a difference between the sexes when we're both out. So men and women. Very, very difficult question to answer this. Scary transport stories, posh accents as well, and two very different travel incentives. If you're thinking of booking a holiday for this summer, one I would say is absolutely naff, and the other would make this place a definite go-to destination. That is all we have for you, and more, in fact, coming up in the next few minutes on the podcast. Do subscribe, by the way, when you finish listening. It's Atom Radio's Best Bits podcast, episode 53. Here it comes. Enjoy.
Atom Radio. Ooh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear.
Mark Denham.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
If you want to go on Love Island, it appears that you don't need to have the world's highest IQ. Conversation between people on Love Island. See, some people did want Love Island updates. A conversation between Belle Hassan, Joanna Chimodis and Jourdain Ryan were asking, is Barcelona in Rome? So it seems that you don't have to be that clever to make it onto Love Island. It's not really an IQ show, is it, obviously?
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
Monday afternoon, and it's drive time until 7. Hello, this is Mark. Nice of you to be there today. Millennials have been accused of ruining the doorbell industry. Are you someone that just texts here when you arrive at somebody's house to pick them up rather than ring their doorbell? I must admit, I'm not a millennial, but I'd probably do that. I'd probably be more inclined to just text, hey, I'm outside or here or something. So yeah, I apologise, doorbell makers.
Drive time with Mark Denham.
It's the big drive home. We're online around the world at atomradio.co.uk. We're on mobile, we're on iTunes, and we're on the smart speaker too. I want to ask a question to the ladies. If you went out this weekend and you went out clubbing this weekend, right? Why is it when guys go out and we need the loo, we say, I'm just going to the loo, I'll be back in a minute, right? When girls go, you always have to go in pairs, at least pairs, don't you? If you go out, you're like, yeah, I need to go to the loo. Who's coming with me? What do you do in there? Like when I go to the loo, I go on my own and I do what I need to do and I go back to where I was. And hopefully my friends are still there and they haven't run off. Ladies, what do you do? Why can't you go on your own? What is it you need your friend for when you go out clubbing?
Mark Denham.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
Imagine being on the tube and noticing that as you drove away, well, actually, this is the point. The driver didn't notice. So there you are. You're on the tube and the driver drove away at 40 miles an hour without closing the doors. 30 passengers on a Jubilee Line train happened to see this, driven north from Finchley Road to West Hampstead about 9 a.m. on Saturday, the 1st of September last year. The incident did go viral at the time. Not that viral, I didn't see it. One passenger shared a video of 10 of the 7 carriages, 10 of the 7 carriage trains, 14 sets of left-hand doors left open to the track. The driver, who'd got up for work at 4 a.m. after 6 hours sleep, but not eaten for 13 hours at the time of the incident, the RAIB said yesterday when they launched the results of their investigation. He only realised the doors were open when a passenger pulled the safety handle as the train reached West Hampstead. Other trains on the line were then ordered to drive slowly as an urgent search was launched to check whether any passengers had actually fallen onto the track. Fortunately, none had. Now, what I don't get is, it says here, the driver had accidentally flipped a switch that prevented the train from departing with its doors open as he attempted to fix another problem at Finchley Road. I was going to say, why don't the trains actually not go when the doors are open. That'd make a lot of sense, wouldn't it? Unlike those UPS vans, because those drivers always have their left door open. That doesn't matter, like summer, winter, always got the left door open on a UPS van.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
So, you can now get Bridget Jones underpants on Amazon. So as well as asking Alexa for medical advice, you can also ask Alexa to order you some comfy and functional Bridget Jones underpants. The thing is, they are getting thousands and thousands of glowing reviews as well. So there we are, comfy, functional, and now available on Amazon. Sounds like an advert, doesn't it?
Drive time with Mark Denham.
This travel story that I told you earlier about the tube driver on London Underground who left the station and hurtled down the line at 40 miles an hour until somebody pulled the stop alarm with the doors wide open. Well, that's quite bad, isn't it? And quite scary. How about this, though? If you're on a plane and you actually get to film the plane falling apart, one passenger on Delta Flight 1425, which took off from Hartsfield-Jackson International Airport, managed to film the engine of the plane actually falling apart, like the big spinner on the front and that. You can see it in the cowling of the engine, tantalizingly in front of the fan blades. It happened around an hour into the flight to Baltimore. The crew spotted there was an issue with one of the plane's engines, and it was then necessary to make an emergency landing. The aircraft touched down safely. All 148 passengers on board were fine. But in a terrifying post then stuck on Twitter by Logan Webb, the passenger on the plane, the engine can clearly be seen with the spinner detached and rattling around the inlet as it continues to fly, with an orange glow visible as well from the spinning shaft. So yeah, that I don't know now. Like, you're up like however many, 20, 30,000 feet in the sky, and your plane starts falling apart, or you're hurtling along a tube line at 40 miles an hour. Neither is particularly pleasant, but I think I'd rather be on the tube than that plane.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
It's Thursday the 11th of July. It's Mark with you until 7. After 7 tonight, the decades. That'll be 70s at 7, 80s at 8, 90s at 9. Millennium Monsters at 10. And after we've done the decades, we will do the love song. Sounds like a plan to me. You do get some posh people, don't you, that call them the decades rather than the decades. Like, it just depends, doesn't it? Where you come from massively influences how you speak. Now, I know certainly in England, you would have, there are accents, aren't there? Like you've got your Liverpool accent, your Birmingham accent, your Newcastle accent. If you come from Scotland, there are many different Scottish accents as well. But certainly if you're in the UK, there would be, say, a normal accent, like what I am talking now. No, you know what I'm saying. There's like a normal accent, and then there's what you would term a posh accent. You say like, hello, how are you today? It's Thursday on Atom Radio. One hopes that one is well, and that would be like what you term a posh accent. Does that also happen in other places around the world as well? Do you get what's, like a posh American accent, or a posh Australian accent, a posh Canadian accent? Or is it just the dialects from the various parts of the country?
Yeah!
Mark Denham.
AtomRadio.co.uk.
Afternoon, it's 4:07. It is Friday, and you got Mark with you here on the big drive home on atomradio.co.uk, on TuneIn, on iTunes Radio, and on your smart speaker too. When you go to the hairdresser, and this doesn't happen to me, by the way, because I am a bald man, but when you go to the hairdresser, and I don't know, if you are a hairdresser, can you just email me on air at atomradio.co.uk and tell me, when you learn about hairdressing, like cutting, colouring, layering and all that stuff, right? You go to college, whatever, and you learn this. And I'm not belittling what you do, because I think it's amazing, like what you can do with people's hair. You can turn a mop into something really good. It couldn't do much for me because there's not really that much hair. But no, you go to college and you learn all that, right? Do they also teach you small talk? Because you do, don't you? When someone comes in, like, oh, how are you? What have you been up to? And then the question that always gets me, are you going anywhere nice on your holidays this year? Well, it's not like you would have deliberately picked some absolute hellhole, is it? And booked 2 weeks there. That one always gets me. Are you going anywhere nice on your holidays this year? It's a silly question. If you didn't think it was nice, you wouldn't be going there, would you?
Drive time with Mark Denham.
Thank you, Bill. Bill has emailed in on air at atomradio.co.uk a silly question I remember being asked when I was at school. when you ask to spell something and the teacher says, look it up in the dictionary. That's true. You know, I mean, in a lot of cases, I suppose you could guess, couldn't you, in a lot of cases. But then what if it's one of these ones like, say, knife? If you didn't know how to spell knife, you wouldn't go looking under K, would you? You know, like psychiatrist. You'd never go looking under P, would you? Because it's a silent P, it's a silent K. So, I mean, that makes sense. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, it's true. That is a silly question. Look it up in the dictionary. I mean, in this day and age, you'd be all right anyway, wouldn't you? Because you just, you know, like quietly, like, you know, get out your phone when you're in class.
I didn't quite get that.
I haven't said anything yet, that's why. How do you spell knife?
Knife. K-N-I-F-E.
Sorted, you see? So there you are. That's how you spell things in this day and age. So that belittles that question from the teacher. And then the other silly question as well, and this has come from Lucy. Thank you, Lucy, on air at atomradio.co.uk. If you can think of a silly question. When you've absolutely devoured something that someone has given you to eat and they say, was it nice? Well, no. If it wasn't nice, I wouldn't have eaten it, let alone absolutely devoured it. So that's another one. We're asking you about silly questions that you have been asked in day-to-day life. On air at atomradio.co.uk.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
I told you I would tell you about this holiday invention, which I think is absolutely naff. All right, if you are somebody that likes to read and sunbathe while you're on holiday, Amazon have now come up with a sun lounger which you can read on. All right, so you can lie flat perfectly and you can suntan your back. And it's basically a hybrid between a sun lounger and a massage table. It has a hole for a padded hole, I will add, cushioned padded hole for your face, and you can put your book underneath. There's also 2 holes either side for your arms as well, so you can put your arms through the sun lounger and turn the pages. How much do you reckon this costs, though? All right, now this is including shipping, but it is dependent on the color you choose and which method of shipping you go for from Amazon. So how much do you reckon then for this sun lounger, basically with 3 holes cut in it? So you only get a full sun lounger, you get a sun lounger with bits out of it. £70. That's how much it costs if you want to read. And the other thing is, if you are obviously buying it in the UK, you pay £70 to get it and get it delivered to you, and then it arrives. If you're going abroad, for example, and you think, oh, I'll take my new book reading sun lounger, that's going to cost you excess baggage, isn't it? So it's only really of any use to you if you holiday in the UK. I personally could think of many, many better things to spend £70 on. But we do have some better holiday news for you to come in a little while. If you are thinking of a holiday this summer, I'll tell you where may be a good place to go.
Drive Time with Mark Denham.
I told you that horrible story, didn't I? Not horrible, but just naff story about the sun lounger, which has a hole cut out for your face to go through and also holes for your arms. So you can read a book, you can lie flat with your face through the hole and put your arms through either hole, and you can then flick the pages of the book. I told you about that. And to be honest, it's naff, isn't it? This is not naff. If you're thinking about somewhere to go on holiday this summer, go to Singapore. If you arrange your flight, certainly from Changi Airport back to wherever you're going, then there is a slide that takes you down to your gate. I mean, I'm not joking. You remember the adverts years ago for the Barclaycard slide, right? You remember those? This is like that. It's, you know, like when you go to the airport, you'll always find, won't you, that after you've gone through all the shops and the duty free and, you know, like all this, that and the other, no matter where you're flying to and which airline you're flying from, you've always got gate number 897, which is about a 7.5 mile walk from where you actually are. Well, if you go to Changi Airport, there is not just one, there's 3 slides actually. And a video has appeared online of Yusuf El Aksare coming across a slide down to his gate. He scans his boarding pass, much like the Barclaycard slide when they were doing the tap and pay thing. On the roller coaster and that. So you scan your boarding pass, you climb in, and you slide all the way down to your gate. I'm just wondering though, because like there are slides that take you from each floor down to the bottom, and they look pretty impressive in these pictures. I'm thinking, how does it know what gate you're going to though? Like when you scan your boarding pass and that, how does it actually know to take me to gate number 897 if that's where I'm going? The slide in Terminal 4 at Changi Airport is free for anyone to use. The larger slide in Terminal 3, however, does have a requirement of spending £8 in any restaurant or shop in the airport. That won't be hard though, will it? At airport prices. I'm sure you can do that without even thinking about it. So yeah, if anyone is listening today from London Heathrow, can you get rid of these boring travelators and escalators and replace them instead with a slide? I think it's the way forward. It genuinely must be the way forward. If you would like to have a go, book your holiday and go to Changi Airport and you can have a little go on that slide, all right? That's how it works.
atomradio.co.uk.
Is it just me being childish, or would you want to go to Changi Airport? I mean, I don't even like flying, but I would quite happily go to Changi Airport just to try out that slide. I really would. It's like, you know, it's like finally you get to live the Barclaycard slide. Remember those adverts? I think they were what? 2009, weren't they? The Barclaycard adverts, the slide, and then they had the roller coaster, didn't they? With, yeah, it was fun. It was fun. I would definitely do that. I would also like to hear, by the way, from the ladies and from the gents, why it is that we think that ladies must go to the toilet accompanied by their friends. I don't know why that is or not. And are you someone that is guilty of ruining the doorbell industry? I've got to put my hands up. I am usually, unless I'm going in. If I'm going in, obviously I won't text, I'm here, open the door, and then walk through it. But if I'm just picking someone up, rather than, you know, get out the car, walk up to the door, well, that would ruin the doorbell industry as well, wouldn't it, if I knocked rather than bing-bonged? But you know what I'm saying. I am probably someone that does ruin the doorbell industry. I'm so sorry if you are a doorbell manufacturer. That is episode 53 of the Drive Time podcast. The best bits for this week are all wrapped up. If you are listening to this on the 13th of July, the day it comes out, then good luck England for tomorrow at the Cricket World Cup final. We will probably discuss that and many other things on Monday when Drive Time returns, 3 p.m. UK time on Atom Radio. Tune in, iTunes Radio and smart speaker.
Atom Radio. Ooh, yeah. Playing the music you want to hear.
Mark Denham.
Atom Radio.